Hi, this is Barbara coming from the Blow Ministry. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day today. It is such a beautiful day outside. I got a chance to go outside and I got a chance to go for a walk and I just love it. I just love the springtime. It is so beautiful. All the flowers are blooming. The trees are turning green. I just love God. He is just so wonderful to us. He really is. And we don't deserve him. We really don't. But we are his children and he take great care of us. I love you, God. Today I will be coming from John 18:4 and 11, and the word says, Jesus, knowing all that was going to happen to him, went and said and asked them, who is it that you want? Jesus of Nazareth, they replied, I am he. And Judas the traitor was standing there with them. When Jesus said, I am he, they drew back and fell to the ground. Again he asked, who is it you want? And they said, Jesus of Nazareth. I told you, I am he. Jesus answered, if you're looking for me, then let these men go. This is what happened. So the word had to be spoken and would be filled. I have not lost one of those you gave me. Peter Simon, who drove back his sword and struck the high priest's servant and cut off his ear. Jesus commanded Peter, put your sword away. I shall not drink the cup that the Father hath given me. And that's the word of the Lord. Today, I want to talk about keeping it real. Yes, keeping it real. And in what I just read, it had Judas and Peter in it. So I want to talk about those too. We as Christians, we don't keep it real. We really don't. And Peter, as we know, he cut off the high priest's ear. I find Peter is funny because a couple of weeks ago I was talking to one of my sisters in Christ, and she had looked at a series they had did about Peter. And she was talking about if Peter was in our time, Peter would be ghetto. Yes, I do believe so. But one thing I can say about Peter is that he did keep it real. He kept it real. He was a true man of God, but he had another side to him. And he showed it. He showed it a couple of times because he tried to defend Jesus because he didn't want Jesus to go to his destiny. So that's why he cut the servant ear off. But we also know that Peter betrayed Jesus too. Because you have to look at this. Okay. When they took Jesus away, he followed Jesus. He followed him to where they was taking him. But when certain people asked him, "Were you with him?" he denied Jesus. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. But if you kept continuing to read the story, Peter felt so convicted of denying Jesus that he cried because he was convicted in his heart because he lied. Not only did Peter cut somebody for Jesus, but he lied, but he felt convicted. But you have to say this, he kept it real. At all times, he kept it real because he didn't hide his flaws. He didn't hide the fact that he was a liar. He didn't hide the fact that he still was ghetto. But he was a man of God. And as Christians, we got flaws. We're not perfect. So he didn't hide the fact that he had flaws. Even though he was wrong by cutting the man's ear off and lying, he didn't hide who he was. And at the end, he went out as a true Christian. But Judas, on the other hand, he couldn't handle, he could not handle who he was. He couldn't. He betrayed Jesus. He walked with Jesus. He prayed with Jesus. He ate with Jesus. But he could not handle his flaws. So he killed himself. And which I figure was a coward way out. When we can't handle what's on the inside of us, we always take that shortcut. And Judas took the shortcut. Instead of redeeming himself, he killed himself. Peter didn't kill himself. He kept it real. And that's what a lot of us are afraid of. Letting people see our flaws. They had this show on about this teenager. Well, he was a teenager in his 20s. It was about him. I can't remember the name of it, and I watched the show. This young boy becoming a mayor, but he was a rapper. And people wanted him to change because he was now the mayor. But in that show, they were trying to groom him to be something that he won't. And how he got that position was because he rapped his way into the position. He was a rapper. But the neighborhood where he lived at, he wanted certain things to change in the neighborhood. And he felt like he could make a change because he grew up in that neighborhood and he knew what had to be done. But once he got in that position that he was the mayor, he knew that he could make some changes. But the people wanted to change him. And at first, he kind of went along with it. But then something happened to make him realize that, no, I can't change who I am. I'm trying to make a change. As Christians, we get titles in the church. We allow that title to change us instead of taking our title and making a change. We don't keep it real. When you get a title in the church, God is elevating you to make a change. You're not supposed to allow that title to change you. But that's what happened a lot of times because you are not keeping it real. You're allowing that power and the enemy to come in and change your perspective of who you are. God is putting you in a leader position to lead his sheep in a certain way. But it's not. You're not. You're not. I see it so many times. I'm a real good observer in church, in anybody's church. And I watch people. You get your title and you forget why God elevates you. You're not keeping it real. You walk around with your head held high and you forget where you came from and why God placed you in the position he placed you in. Something to think about, right, leaders? God is placing you in a leader position to lead the sheep in a certain direction. It's not only in church. It's out here on these streets too when you see somebody that's in need of a word. He's placing word in you to lead his sheep in a certain position. But no, once you get the title, you forget. You're not keeping it real. You forget. Then you get the car, the house. You think you're being blessed. Sometimes those blessings ain't really God. So, Who is being real? You need to think about that. Like they say, the devil knows the Bible too. He won't always the devil. You know what they say about the wolf in sheep clothing? Leaders, people, Christians, let's keep it real. These words that God placed in man's heart to put in the Bible, these are real words. Jesus went through something real when he was hung on that cross. Like I said, Peter, he was wrong, but he kept it real. We are not perfect beings. Yes, we do have flaws. We are not perfect. But let's start keeping it real. Let's keep it real. Let's start loving. Let's start touching. Let's start being the people of God. He's grooming us to be leaders. He's not making y'all leaders for nothing. Let's start keeping it real. This is Barbara coming from the Blow Ministry. I hope everybody is having a wonderful and blessed day. And let's start keeping it real. Goodbye.